What's going on, everybody? It's fragged out, swagged out. You already know why we're here. Today, I'm talking about Phoenicia Perfumes. And to be very honest with you, right up front, this is for the oud lovers. If you don't like oud, if you don't want to experiment in oud, if you're not even the least bit curious, there's a whole bunch of other videos that you can check out in the library. There might be more for you, but this is really for the oud lovers, for the people who really appreciate the use of oud. And I don't mean just like adding a little bit of oud to a fragrance just to call it oud fragrance, or add just a little smokiness. I mean a real oud fragrance that has a lot of that Middle Eastern character, but has its own identity. That's what we're talking about today. Last time I did a video from the House of Phoenicia, I gave you kind of the background on that video, so you can check that one out if you want to know more about them. A really interesting story, a lot of accolade there. But today we're gonna get right into the fragrances. And before I start that, I will say that Phoenicia Perfumes did send me these fragrances for review. However, I'm gonna say what I want to say. I'm not paid to give an opinion. So just like last time, you know, I liked most of what they had, but the Sambaco just really wasn't for me. And I respect, number one, a company that's willing to put their reputation on the line by sending me a variety of things, but also who's willing to let me say what I have to say, and that's why this works. Otherwise, I just wouldn't do it. So number one, and I'm gonna start with Real Oud because I spoke about this briefly on Friday during my live, and the great thing is that Phoenicia happened to be on the live as well. They were watching along, so they were able to fill in some of the information gaps. I spoke about this one briefly without doing any of the homework. It was just in front of me, and I was like, hey, let me talk about this because this is an interesting smell. And so to get right to Phoenicia's brief on this, very straight to the point, they say, back to our roots with Hindi oils exalted by loads of spices, florals and resins, a dash of Siam wood, animalics, 2 deer musk, hyraceum. It's the same panoply of soaked and clay pots distilled oud oils. This batch is a little softer than previous versions, which that's interesting that it's softer. And we use a new barnyard and vintage zoo oils, all Hindi all day. And that final line, barnyard, vintage, zoo oils, really speaks to this fragrance. Number one, because this opening is so intense. And I wouldn't have said barnyard or vintage or zoo, because it's not so off-putting that I can't take it, especially someone else who described barnyard to me and told me it reminds them of actual barnyard. But this is very strong, very intense, very funky, a very strong medicinal opening that I guess would lean towards I guess it could lean towards barnyard in the very opening of this fragrance. And if it were like that the entire duration of the wear, it would be really hard to wear for a lot of Western perfume users, especially the people who just want to wear a fragrance that says oud and aren't really too ready to wear a fragrance of this magnitude. But here's the interesting thing about this. That opening is going to be really strong. Like I said, you have to be able to get through the opening if you're not used to oud. But past the opening, as you get to the mid and the dry down, it becomes a more casual oud experience. It's still strong. It's still not for somebody who doesn't like oud. But the 2 musks they have in here really help round out this fragrance and smooth off a lot of the sharpness of that, what they call here barnyard and zoo oils. It's because the opening is really intense and a little overwhelming even for me. But yeah, like I said, it has a very nice combination of those musks and those florals, and the florals feel like I said the other day, it doesn't say rose or geranium, but kind of has that and they say spices. So when they say spices and florals, I'm leaning towards peppercorn and geranium and maybe rose if there's rose in here. And it gives us this nice kind of red floral, kind of juicy floral scent that really mixes well with the musk and help tone down a lot of that aggressive oud that you get in the opening. And the wonderful part about it is that if you can get past that, by the time you get to the dry down, it's just a really nice, it almost a very traditional kind of oud rosy kind of blend that you get. But again, it's not like the department store oud rose that, you know, it's a very realistic oud, realistic floral, very nice musk at the base that helps round out all the sharpness that you get in the opening, and it lasts on skin forever, and on clothes you're gonna have to wash it a few times. So if you're into that vibe, then the name kind of says it all, and this is what you want to check out. Real Oud by Phoenicia. Now, the one that I'm still debating. I think this is definitely the one from this batch that I like the most, and this is Purple Sear. And I have to dry down here, and this one right here I do have to spray again because it's very interesting. This one changes a lot. This one changes so many times. Well, I'll say so many times, but really it's three major changes on my skin, and it kind of goes with the traditional opening mid dry down, like exactly how you expect it to. You know, there's no linear action here. And with this one right here, the Purple Sear, before I even read the notes, I'm gonna tell you right now, again, intense opening, strong opening, probably more than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like one super strong and then the other one not so much. No, this one is strong, but it takes a really immediate turn in the opening. So at first I get a really intense oud that I think that if that was the smell for the whole fragrance, it wouldn't have been for me as potent as this is. But and even on paper it smells like that for a long time. However, on skin I get this really interesting change, and it gets smoky, and it goes from that really funky oud. The funk comes down really quickly and it starts picking up a lot of smoke, but it's not an off-putting smoke. It's almost like a campfire kind of smoke, very close. The closest thing that from a designer that I can tell you is by the fireplace, kind of smoky feel. It's not off-putting, and the oud tamed down really adds to how wearable this is, and you get this really nice smoky oudy, not necessarily sweet, but it's not super dark either. And I want to say that it kind of leans like there's a certain floral sweetness to it, but again, it's not a sweet fragrance. It's just there's something in there playing its part, and it just becomes a really wearable, classy fragrance. This is the kind of fragrance I think you can wear to a business dinner. You just have to spray it like before you leave the house, of course. Gives them time to, acclimate to your skin, and but after that it becomes a really nice fragrance. Now, going to the notes they have here, they have carnation, lavender, geranium, ylang ylang, Indonesian santalum, vintage Mysore sandalwood, sweet tobacco tincture, which I think that's where some of that sweetness is coming from. Semi-sweet Vietnamese oud, smoky Burmese oud, and Siam wood, and then there's a Siberian and Tibetan deer musk, which kind of help freshen it up in the base throughout the wear of this fragrance, which I think is what gives it some of that classiness. A very crisp kind of I don't know, there's something here that if you're into oud and you want to make that oud kind of composition of that oud smell go with you from just in your house where you enjoy it by yourself, and actually be able to take it out to the boardroom, to a dinner, and you're not gonna choke people out and kill. This is a perfect blend of a a tobacco tincture that really helps its composition without turning it into a tobacco fragrance and then giving all the credit to the tobacco. It's a really, really, yeah, this definitely is um my favorite one. That Burmese oud is what makes a difference though. It gives it this smoky characteristic, and especially this time of year, I don't know if I would feel the same way about it in the summer, but right now with the weather and the way this is working on my skin, I had it on earlier when I went out, and I just sprayed it on again, and it just works really nice. I was around people. No one said, yo, that smells amazing, but it's one of those really strong ouds that still no one was like, ew, that's not good. Like, it's a really, really nice oud. And that sandalwood, by the time you get to the base, that sandalwood and that musk are doing a lot of the work, giving it some smoothness, some creaminess, and that tobacco tincture and that oud from the beginning are still working together. However, by the time you get to the dry down, that Burmese oud really slows down, so you don't have a lot of that smokiness. And there's one thing that I can keep from the opening and this fragrance, or if there's one thing that I can change, it's that smokiness. If it can just stay longer in the fragrance, that would make all the difference to me. But still in all, this is my number one pick out of this batch. And with that said, I'll take you to the last fragrance, and this one right here, I don't think they even have it on the website anymore. This is Skin Graft, but I was really interested in this one because Essential Notes actually told me about this one, and he was like, man, I hope you get the opportunity to smell this one at some point. And here it is. And I did smell it earlier, and I'm gonna smell it again because this one right here also had a very interesting change on my skin. And really quickly, I'll tell you about that. I smelled it earlier, and I even right now, same thing. As soon as it opens, I was like, nope. Kind of like the whole Sambaco one. I smelled it. I was like, it's not gonna be for me. I don't even know why Essential Notes wanted me to smell this. This is not for me at all. And no joke, I gave it like 5 minutes, and I passed my. At this point, I was convinced this is not for me. Gave it a few minutes, and passed it by my face again, and man, it changed, and it changed for the better. I think the opening is very heavy on that jasmine sambac, and I don't love that jasmine sambac. This is twice I've come across that. But the great thing about this fragrance is that it has a honey in the fragrance that starts sweetening up that jasmine. And I want to say within 3 to 4 minutes, it starts sweetening up that jasmine, and a lot of that animalic smell that I get from that sambac and the opening starts toning down like really, really quick on skin. And it becomes more of like a floral, a white floral honey fragrance in the opening. And you start getting some of that ISOE Super and Cedar playing their part. So it gives us this nice woody. So you know how Cedar, kind of like those molecule fragrances. I think it's molecule one. But the ISOE Super and that Cedar together give it this nice woody base working with that honey. And because of that honey, I think that ISOE Super goes from feeling kind of woody almost to kind of ambery back and forth, playing very well with that white floral. And I never get that animalic jasmine from the opening throughout the rest of the fragrance. It just turns into a nice light, very usable jasmine. And I know for some people jasmine is usable, period, but for me it's something that I don't really like. However, this works in such a way where it becomes I can do it. If I had to choose one out of 3, I'm still going to go with Purple Seer, but I can still do the Skin Graft. Out of the 3, I would say Skin Graft is the one that I would reach for the least, just because of that opening of the jasmine. It's still in my head anyway, and even as I'm smelling the white florals, I know that it's there, and it doesn't offend me by the dry down of the mid, but it's the one that I least like. If you're into jasmine, sambac, if you like the idea of a sweet combination with that honey, that really does work really nice. Like, to be fair, I'm not saying I wouldn't wear it. I'm just saying this is my least favorite one out of the 3. And again, it's because that jasmine. But if you like jasmine already, if you like honey, if you like a nice woody base with that cedar and that isoe super, then this might work for you as well. Now, the other thing is that I don't even think this is on sale on the website. I had checked it out before. I couldn't find any information on the website for it, so I don't know if it's an exclusive that drops every now and then. At any rate, this one right here is not that you're not gonna get those oud situations to get the other. So even if you don't like oud, Phoenicia has something for you. Because I don't get any oud in here at all. Maybe there is, but I don't really get it. It's more of a woody kind of American woods. Isoe super honey floral works really nicely. Again, I haven't come across a Phoenicia fragrance that was not done well. I have come across Phoenicia fragrance that is not for me, and that is that Jasmine Sambac. But overall, very well crafted, a lot of thought, a lot of high quality ingredients, oils put into these fragrances. And if you have not tried this house, they have, well, let me see, I'm gonna check out their website. I know they, when I had first bought Summer Breeze, they had sample packs on the web. Yeah, and they do. So they have sample packs on the website. And if all else fails and that really hard oud is not for you, I always tell people Summer Breeze, man. Just try Summer Breeze first. Citrusy, fruity, juicy fruit, opening. You know, every company has a signature, and for Phoenicia, in my opinion, the signature is in your face oud openings. They're always going to be like an authentic Middle Eastern. If you're not ready for this, you're gonna be knocked on your butt. But once that opening slows down in Summer Breeze, you get this amazing fruity light oud composition that is just amazing, worth every cent. But yeah, check out their website. They will be in the description of this video. And if you've watched this and you've tried anything, you know, tell me which one you tried. Tell me which one is your favorite. Tell me which one is your worst. You know, share with somebody. You might have an opinion that might resonate with someone else, and it'll help them not, you know, go with that one. And lastly, if there is one that I mentioned here today that you would like a sample from, let me know. And if there's enough in any of these and you want to try it, I'm down. So that's my video for today, y'all. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new, or at least heard about a new fragrance that you're willing to try. If you are, again, just, you know, like, comment, subscribe. Kind of like I always say, or just we always say. But yeah, that's it for tonight, y'all. I'm done. Hope you enjoyed it. Fragged out, swagged out. I'm out.